Let's be honest, nobody enjoys dealing with an unhappy customer. But in the automotive world, it's just part of the job. So in this explainer, we're going to build a mental toolkit for you based on 5 core principles. This isn't just about making a problem disappear. It's about passing one of the toughest tests of your professionalism. All right, let's get into it.
I mean, really think about it. What's the real cost? It's way more than just losing one customer. A single complaint, if you handle it poorly, can snowball into legal issues, a trashed reputation online, and just a massive waste of time and money for the business. It's a high-stakes moment for sure, and that's exactly why we're taking the time to get this right.
So, I want you to think of every single complaint like this. It's a test of your professionalism. Yeah, it's high pressure, no doubt, but here's the good news. You can absolutely study for it. We're going to walk through the 5 key principles that will help you pass with flying colors every single time.
First up, Principle 1, Workplace Procedures. Basically, knowing your company's playbook. Before you do anything else, you have to understand the internal rules of the game.
Then there's Principle 2, and this one's a biggie, consumer law. You've got to have a solid grasp of the customer's basic legal rights to navigate the situation correctly.
Principle 3 is where we get into the skills. This is all about mastering the art of the conversation itself. This is where you can really shine.
Next up is Principle 4, and it's all about documentation. It's that crucial skill of getting the story straight right from the very beginning.
And finally, we land on Principle 5, problem solving. These are the practical techniques you'll actually use to find a resolution. You master these 5 and you'll have a complete toolkit for pretty much any situation that comes your way.
All right, let's start with the foundation. Before you even open your mouth to talk to an unhappy customer, you need to be an expert on your own company's rules for handling complaints. This is not optional. It's step 1 for a professional outcome.
Now, it's really easy to see these procedures as just, bureaucracy or red tape, but they exist for a critical reason. If you try to solve a problem your own way, even with the best of intentions, you can create massive headaches. You might end up contradicting your manager, or even worse, create a legal liability for the business. The takeaway is simple. Know the playbook before you get in the game.
And part of that playbook is understanding your own authority. You are step 1. Your job is to try and resolve the issue with the power you have, but you also need to know the exact moment when it's time to pass the ball to a supervisor or manager. Knowing this escalation process protects you and makes sure the customer gets to the right person who can actually help them.
Okay, let's move on to the second pillar, consumer law. Now, this isn't about becoming a lawyer, not at all. It's about knowing the fundamental rights your customer has the second they walk through that door. This knowledge is basically your shield against making a really costly legal mistake.
This right here is the core concept. The Australian Consumer Law, or ACL, gives customers guarantees that are simply not negotiable. If a product or service has what's called a major failure, the customer has a legal right to a solution. Understanding this stops you from trying to negotiate something that's already protected by law.
So, how does this actually play out? Well, let's say a newly installed engine part fails completely. That is almost certainly covered by consumer guarantees. But what about a customer who just changes their mind about the color of the seat covers you've already installed? Yeah, that's probably not covered. Knowing that difference is absolutely key to managing the conversation correctly.
Okay, so we've covered the foundational rules, the playbook. Now let's get into the crucial skills, starting with Principle 3, mastering the conversation. Seriously, how you communicate in those first few minutes can set the tone for the entire interaction. And your secret weapon here is active listening. This isn't just about staying quiet while they talk. It's about making them feel heard. You paraphrase their concerns back to them. Something like, okay, so if I'm understanding you correctly, the rattle started right after the last service, and it's loudest when you first start the car in the morning. This does 2 incredible things at once. 1, it confirms you have the facts straight, and 2, more importantly, it shows the customer you're on their side, that you're trying to understand. You can literally feel the tension in the room go down.
And this is exactly why those skills matter so much. The real insight here is that the process is often more important than the outcome. A customer could walk away feeling satisfied even if they didn't get everything they asked for, simply because they felt heard and respected. That's powerful stuff. So with those communication skills locked in, we can now build the bedrock of any good solution. And that brings us to Principle 4, accurate documentation. You simply cannot solve a problem you don't fully understand and haven't recorded properly. Your first job here is to be a detective.
You're using those questioning skills to get the full story. And this is where a really crucial distinction comes in. Your initial apology is about empathy, not about admitting liability. Saying, "I'm very sorry for the frustration this has caused you," is completely different from saying, "Oops, we messed up." The first one shows you care. The second admits fault before you even have all the facts. You have to master that difference. Everything you learn, all that detective work, has to be captured in a complaint summary. Think of this document as the foundation of a house. If that foundation is crooked, if your summary is inaccurate or missing key details, then every single decision you or your manager build on top of it is going to be flawed.
And that solid foundation leads us directly to our final step, Principle 5, problem solving. An accurate summary is the official starting line for any negotiation. You've listened, you've shown empathy, you've documented the facts. Now, and only now, can you start talking about options together. Is it a repair? A discount on the next service? By having a clear, agreed-upon problem in writing, you're no longer arguing about what's wrong, you're working together to find what's right.
Which brings us to our final thought. It's so easy to see a complaint as a threat, a problem, a headache. But what if it's actually an opportunity? An opportunity to show how professional you are, to build trust by handling a tough situation really well, and to get amazing feedback that can make the whole business better. Passing the unhappy customer test doesn't just solve a problem, it builds a stronger business.